One great benefit to working with a smart object is that you can replace it with another smart object and maintain all of your existing modifications. To see that in action, let's first learn how to create a smart object. Perhaps the easiest way is from the File menu, and you simply select Open as Smart Object. In our Chapter 9 folder, I'm going to open the file Guanajuato. Photoshop automatically creates a brand new document. In our Layers panel, you can see that we have a smart object. You can also create a smart object from an existing layer in your document. Let's close this image, and we don't need to save it. Back in our Chapter 9 folder, I'm going to open the file titled Vase. In our Layers panel, you can see Layer 1, a regular plain old layer, but if I go to the Layers panel and click on the flyout menu at the top, I can select Convert to Smart Object. Now I've got a smart object. There's another way to create a smart object within an existing file. Let's close this image, we don't need to save it, and back to our Chapter 9 folder, I'm going to open the file titled Frame. We're going to add a smart object to this image. Before I do that, I'm going to move to the Layers panel and select the background layer because I want my smart object to be placed right in between the background layer and the Shape 2 layer. We're going up to the File menu, and this time we're going to select Place. In the Chapter 9 folder, I'm going to select the image Face 01. This image is automatically imported as a smart object. It comes in with a transform box. We can use that to scale or rotate the image. So I'm going to start in the upper right corner. You can see the cursor turn into a double arrow icon. I'm going to click and drag to resize the image, taking care to hold down the Shift key. This will constrain the image to its original proportions. I just want to fit this little guy's head nicely inside the picture frame. Once I release the mouse, I can place the cursor directly over the transform box, click, and drag to move the image around. Now I can commit to these changes by simply pressing the Enter key. Now what I'd like to do is remove the areas of the image that fall outside the picture frame. The easiest way to do that is with a layer mask. In the Layers panel, I'm going to click on the Add Layer Mask icon. I now need to select the brush tool from the Tools panel. I want you to make sure that your brush is set to a hardness of 100%, and at the bottom of the Tools panel, make sure that your foreground color is set to black. Now we'll simply start painting. Keep in mind that we're just painting on the layer mask. We're not permanently throwing any image information away. Now there's one more thing I'd like to do to this image. Let me bring this up to a 100% view. But first I need to move to the Layers panel and click on the Smart Object icon to set the focus on the Smart Object as opposed to the layer mask. Now I'll go to the Filter menu. Under Sharpen, I'm going to select Unsharp Mask. I'm going to talk about sharpening in an upcoming chapter. For now, I'll just use these settings, a radius of 0.8 pixels, a threshold of 10 levels. Maybe I'll bump up the amount just a hair to 144%. I'll toggle the preview on and off. Sharpens the image up nicely without overdoing it. I'm going to hit OK. We have now added a filter to a smart object, and there's a very special relationship between the two that I will talk about in Lesson 4. But now comes the fun part. I've got a smart object with a layer mask and a filter applied. I'm now going to replace the contents of this object. In the Layers panel, I'm going to simply right-click on the PC, control-click on the Mac, anywhere in this blue highlighted area. I get a pop-up menu, and I'm going to choose Replace Contents. In our Chapter 9 folder, let's try Face 02. We have a brand new image, reduced to the same size, moved to the same location, linked to the same layer mask, and with the same filter applied. That's the beauty of Replace Contents. You can take a smart object, swap out a completely different image, and all of your work is maintained.